Men, let's be brutally honest. In today's dating world, women rarely tell you directly, "I'm not interested." Why? Because in American culture, people avoid confrontation. A woman doesn't want to look cruel. She doesn't want to close the door completely. Sometimes she'll even keep you around as an option while giving her full attention to the man she truly desires. Your job as a man? To read between the lines. Protect your time, your dignity, and your masculine energy. If you can't recognize the subtle signs, you'll spend years chasing someone who never saw you as her first choice. And worse, you'll lose respect for yourself. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The same applies here. If her actions do not show interest, stop fooling yourself with hopeful words. Before we begin, subscribe to Masculine Group. This channel is about making men stronger mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And tell me in the comments, have you ever been strung along by mixed signals? I want to hear your story. 1. She makes time for everyone but you. Men, one of the clearest signs a woman is not interested is this: she consistently makes time for everyone else, but never for you. I once knew a man in New York City who fell into this exact trap. For half a year, he chased after a woman he thought could be the one. During those 6 months, she never missed brunch with her girlfriends at that trendy Soho cafe. Twice a week, she was faithfully at her yoga studio. She even volunteered at a weekend charity run in Central Park. But whenever he asked her out, her response was always the same: maybe next week. Week after week, month after month, he heard the same excuse, and he convinced himself she was just busy. Let me make this clear. Nobody is ever too busy. People rearrange their lives for what matters to them. If a woman is truly excited about you, she will find the time. She'll move a meeting. She'll push a workout. She'll carve out an hour no matter what. If she never does, her actions are shouting what her lips won't say. You are not a priority. This is where men often betray themselves. They take her excuses at face value. They tell themselves she's stressed at work, that her family needs her, that maybe she just needs more time to open up. But the truth is, if she wanted to see you, you'd already know. The absence of effort is not an accident, it's a decision. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." In the dating world, that means you must be willing to walk away, even if she calls you cold, arrogant, or impatient. Because real strength is choosing yourself over someone who will not choose you back. And here's the paradox. When you respect your own time, when you refuse to chase low effort, you become magnetic to high-value women. Women notice the man who does not linger where he's unwanted. That restraint signals boundaries, confidence, and self-respect. So let me ask you, have you ever been someone's option instead of their priority? And when you realized it, what did you do? 2. Her words and actions don't match. Men, one of the most dangerous traps you can fall into is this: believing a woman's words while ignoring her actions. A woman may look you in the eye and say, "I really like you. You're such a great guy. I love spending time with you." Those words are intoxicating, and for a man who's been craving affirmation, they can feel like proof of interest. But watch what happens next. She cancels your plans at the last minute. She takes 2 days to reply to a simple text. She avoids real conversations and never puts effort into connecting. Her mouth is saying one thing, but her behavior is painting an entirely different picture. I met a man in Los Angeles who lived this nightmare. The woman he was seeing told him all the right things. She fed him compliments, promised she couldn't wait to see him again, and reassured him that he was special. Yet, on the very nights she told him she was too tired to go out, she was posting Instagram stories at rooftop bars, smiling with her girlfriends, and sometimes with other men. The contradiction was blatant, but he refused to see it. He clung to her words because they gave him hope. That hope became his prison. This is where Stoic wisdom offers clarity. Seneca once said, "What need is there to weep over parts of life? The whole of it calls for tears. Life already carries enough disappointment. Why add more pain by deceiving yourself?" When someone's words and actions don't align, your job as a man is not to argue, to rationalize, or to beg for clarity. Your job is to believe the behavior. Because behavior is truth. A woman who values you shows it through consistency. She doesn't leave you guessing. She doesn't confuse you. She doesn't tell you she's interested while repeatedly acting like she isn't. When a woman truly wants you, her words and actions move in the same direction, toward you. Here's the brutal reality. Men who cling to words over actions end up wasting months, even years, investing in women who never intended to invest in them. They explain away the red flags, thinking she's just busy or she's shy. Meanwhile, their confidence erodes, their boundaries collapse, and they convince themselves they should be grateful for scraps of attention. Don't be that man. As Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Don't debate her feelings, watch her actions. If they don't line up with her words, accept it and walk away. That decision is not bitterness, it's self-respect. Quick interaction. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you judge people more by what they say or what they do? 3. Minimal effort. Men, here's a reality check. When a woman is truly interested in you, you won't have to guess. She invests. She makes herself look good before meeting you, not because she has to, but because she wants to. She sends thoughtful texts, remembers the little things you tell her, and actually initiates plans because she's eager to spend time with you. But when she's not interested, her effort level drops to almost nothing. That's where so many men get trapped. They confuse scraps of attention for genuine investment. Take an example from Houston, Texas. A man I knew kept chasing a woman who gave him the bare minimum. He would text her long, heartfelt paragraphs, telling her how much he appreciated her and how much he wanted to see her. He'd send her flowers to her office and even Uber Eats meals straight to her apartment when she said she was too busy to cook. And how did she respond? With one-word replies like "K" or "Thanks." No warmth, no initiative, no enthusiasm. Now, here's the painful part. He kept chasing. Instead of recognizing the lack of effort for what it was, he doubled down. He thought persistence would eventually win her over. What actually happened? She lost even more respect for him. She realized she didn't have to give him anything of substance, just crumbs, and he would still come running. That is the brutal truth about minimal effort. It's not an accident, it's a choice. A woman who gives you the least is making a statement. You're not a priority, but you're convenient enough to keep around. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." And part of being a man of value is refusing to settle for crumbs. Because convenience is not love, and bare minimum is not desire. When you continue rewarding minimal effort with maximum attention, you teach her that she can do less and less while still keeping your energy. That is not a relationship. That is exploitation. A high-value man doesn't allow it. He sees the pattern early. He respects himself enough to walk away, and he saves his energy for someone who will invest back. So here's your challenge. If you've ever accepted bare minimum treatment, admit it in the comments by writing, "No more crumbs." That's your declaration that you will never again settle for less than full effort from someone who claims to want you. 4. No initiation. Men, let's talk about one of the most overlooked but revealing signs of disinterest: lack of initiation. Here's the test. Stop texting her. Stop calling. Stop reaching out. If the entire connection dies when you go silent, then it was never alive to begin with. She was never truly interested. Because even the shyest woman, yes, even the introverted one who hates texting, will find a way to connect with the man she truly desires. She'll send you a meme that reminded her of you. She'll check in with a quick, "How's your day?" She'll suggest grabbing coffee or make some small attempt to keep the flame alive. When there's genuine interest, effort flows both ways. But if she never initiates, if every conversation, every plan, every text begins with you, then you are not a priority. You're a convenience, and only when you make yourself available. I knew a man in Dallas who was caught in this trap. For months, he carried the entire weight of a connection. He sent the good morning texts. He made the weekend plans. He asked the questions that kept the conversation alive. And when he finally pulled back to see what would happen, nothing. Silence. Days went by. She didn't notice. She didn't care. And that silence spoke louder than any excuse she had ever given. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." If you convince yourself her silence means nothing, you're dyeing your soul with mediocrity. You're training your mind to accept one-sided effort as normal. That is not the mindset of a strong man. A masculine man doesn't fear silence. He uses it as a test. He knows that if she truly values him, she will step into the space he creates. And if she doesn't, that silence is his answer. No arguments, no begging, no chasing, just clarity. The truth is, interest does not need to be coaxed. You don't have to perform, persuade, or pressure. If she wants to connect, she will. If she doesn't, she won't. And your strength lies in accepting that reality without resentment. Let me ask you this. Have you ever tried the step-back test, stopping initiation to see what happens? And when you did, what truth did you uncover? Share your story in the comments. Because in the end, silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. 5. Distracted presence. Men, interest is not just about whether she shows up. It's about how she shows up. Presence matters. If you're sitting across from a woman on a date in Chicago and she's scrolling through her phone, giving you one-word answers, or constantly scanning the room for something more exciting, let's be honest, she's not with you. Her body may be there, but her mind is somewhere else. And that's not presence. That's disinterest. I've seen men ignore this red flag time and time again. They'll book an expensive rooftop dinner overlooking the skyline. They'll make reservations at that trendy steakhouse in Dallas, or surprise her with tickets to a Broadway show in New York. Yet the entire night, she spends more energy refreshing her notifications than connecting with the man in front of her. And instead of walking away, he convinces himself he just needs to try harder to win her attention. But men, that's not persistence. That's self-betrayal. Epictetus once taught, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. If you call yourself a man of value, act like it. A man of value does not accept being treated like background noise. He does not compete with TikTok or Instagram reels for attention. He understands that attention is currency, And if she can't invest hers in him, then she's already showing where her heart is not. I remember one man in Miami telling me about his date. He noticed she laughed harder at her friend's text message than at anything he said. He ignored it at first, but deep down, it cut his self-respect. By the third date, he realized he was basically paying to sit across from a woman who was more engaged with her phone than his presence. The lesson hit him hard. Attention is not neutral. If it's not directed at you, it's directed away from you. Here's the truth. When a woman is deeply drawn to you, the world disappears when she's with you. Even if she's exhausted or stressed, she'll want to be there in that moment. If you don't feel that presence, don't write it off as just how she is. Accept it as reality. So I'll ask you directly, would you walk away mid-date if she was glued to her phone? Or would you keep sitting there hoping she'll eventually notice you? Drop your answer in the comments. Because a masculine man doesn't beg for attention, he commands it, simply by refusing to settle for less. 6. Avoiding alone time. Men, here's a truth you can't ignore. A woman who genuinely wants you will seek moments alone with you. She'll want that private space where the energy is personal, where the conversation flows deeper, and where connection can actually grow. But when she keeps pushing for group settings, inviting her friends along, or dodging private invitations, it's not shyness, it's avoidance. I knew a guy in San Francisco who fell into this trap. For weeks he kept asking a woman he liked to join him for dinner. Nothing fancy, just the two of them at a quiet restaurant. Every time, she had an excuse. Family obligations, a deadline at work, errands to run. On the surface, it sounded reasonable, but the truth was revealed when that same week she posted photos on Instagram at brunch with her girlfriends, smiling, laughing, enjoying her time. The problem wasn't that she was busy. The problem was that she didn't want that kind of intimacy with him. This is where many men lie to themselves. They say, maybe she's just shy, or maybe she needs more time. No avoidance is rejection in disguise. When a woman truly wants to be with you, she'll make it happen, even if it's just grabbing coffee, going for a walk, or sitting in the car after an event. She will find a way to create space for just the two of you. Epictetus said, "If you wish to be a writer, write." The lesson here is simple. If she wishes to be with you, she will be. No excuses, no endless delays, no constant rescheduling. And as a man, your job is not to beg, persuade, or explain why she should give you alone time. Your job is to see the pattern for what it is. If she keeps avoiding intimacy, she's showing you the truth, and your strength lies in accepting that truth instead of chasing illusions. Quick CTA. If you've ever learned this lesson the hard way, type in the comments, "I choose clarity over excuses." Because clarity is freedom, and freedom is always better than living in denial. Conclusion. Men, let's end this with clarity. The signs are never as complicated as we try to make them. A woman who isn't interested will show you through her patterns long before she ever says it with her words. Minimal effort, no initiation, distracted presence, avoiding alone time. These are not random events. They're signals, and signals don't lie. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." If your thoughts are built on illusions, you'll keep chasing women who drain your energy. But when your thoughts are grounded in reality, you protect your time, your dignity, and your masculine strength. Remember this, you are not here to convince someone to see your value. You are here to live as a man of value, and the right women, the ones worth your time, will recognize it without hesitation. Epictetus taught, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Her interest level, beyond your control. Your ability to walk away with self-respect, entirely in your control. So ask yourself, will you keep auditioning for a role in someone else's story, or will you walk away and start writing your own? If this message hit home, comment below, "I choose self-respect." Share this with a brother who needs to hear it. And subscribe, because men of value don't just listen to wisdom, they live it.